What's up, everybody? Welcome to a very special Tequila Tuesday. This is the first ever Tequila Tuesday on a Wednesday. Thanks. Glory be to my insane schedule. Couldn't make it work. Tried to do it on Monday. That didn't work. Knew I wouldn't be able to do it Tuesday. Here we are on Wednesday. So I'm going to do the best that I can. So thank you all for joining, and thank you all for watching if you're going to take a look at the recording. A couple weeks ago, I made a post about affiliate revenue, referrals, and the like. The specific post, which if I was prepared properly, I would have drug up by now and could share with you all. Maybe somebody could find it for me and drop it in the chat. But essentially it was, here's how I made almost 29,000, 28,000 in the month of January in income, specifically from affiliate partners, referral revenue, that type of thing. And I talked about how it's this kind of hidden gem and an area of opportunity that not enough people take advantage of. Put that out there. My inbox, my DMs kind of went nuts. Had a bunch of people in Scotty's little sales club reach out to me and say, hey, I would love for you to do a Tequila Tuesday episode and just talk a little bit more about this stuff in depth. So that's what we're doing. And yeah, happy to kind of dive in wherever you want to go. Can talk about what it is, where to go, how to make it work. So yeah, I'll turn it over to you and see where we want to start. Whoever's got questions and comments, fire away.
So if I have an idea of somebody that I think would be worth reaching out to, what's your typical conversation starter on that?
So when you say somebody to reach out to, you're talking about a vendor. You're talking about a software provider of some sort. Okay.
Yes.
So Matt, we'll role play this real quick. What's the name of the company that you're at now or used to work at?
Mascot Media.
Okay. So let's say Mascot Media is who Matt wants to reach out to. So I would connect with, if I'm not already connected to, as many people as possible from that company. And I would just message them and say, hey, love what y'all do. Come across people who are looking for your solution in my everyday conversations. Wondering if y'all have some kind of affiliate program or referral bonus program or something like that. Would you be the right person to talk to? Simple as that.
Straightforward, easy.
Yeah, John found the post. Everybody can reference it in the chat. Thanks for that, John. It's really that simple, Matt. It doesn't have to be super targeted to, the person that runs partnerships or anything like that, right? I think most people who work at a company would be trained in some way that if they got a message like that it's essentially like, hey, I'm trying to send your company business, they'll forward it to whomever. So if it's the wrong person, they'll be like, hey, Matt, thanks for reaching out. Yes, we have a referral program. The best person to talk to would be John Carson, right? And they might give you his email address, whatever. So you have to play like a small game, maybe of whack-a-mole to try to get to the right person. Then you get to the right person and it's a very similar message, right? And you're like, hey, I have these conversations with these people all the time on LinkedIn, in real life, in micro sales and revenue communities that I'm in. And people are asking, how do I deal with this? Who do you recommend? Whatever. I'm just wondering, do you all have an affiliate program, referral program? I'd love to start funneling people your way. And, I have these kind of partnerships with others. They typically pay, 10, 20% of first year's revenue. Do y'all have anything like that? Some people will say, no, we don't have anything formal, but if you send us stuff, we'll pay you out. So you have to use your own judgment of, whether you want to deal with that and trust those people to, pay you or not. The people who do, they'll be like, yes, absolutely. We love that. They'll send you over their little, partner agreement that you sign. They might send you a link to, maybe they have an internal portal of their own that's native that they built. They might have an external one that's like a partner stack type website. So you just sign up. That's it.
Simple enough. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, now that you got a sip of water, I've got a question. So I followed that path, like what Matt asked. So the next thing I have, say, 7 of said engagements, one of which, of course, with you, with the Untethered Blueprint. What are you doing, or how do you best organize or manage it? So that way it's not a, where was that link for this, or how am I keeping track of that?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess man, some are simple, some are more complicated, but I'd be curious to make sure that we can keep it all organized.
Yeah. Let me attempt. You guys are going to be so embarrassed for me.
We know your tech skills.
Yeah.
It's
Give me a
okay.
second, Jill. Give me a second. And
Oh
Keith,
God, what's happening? I just got back on. Tech related issue?
tech related situation. Yeah.
Shocker.
That's not bad. That looks pretty.
Okay, are you looking at this? This is all different companies that I've at one point or another referred business to and gotten paid from, along with information and their links. It's either linked to their website or the specific referral link right here, Keith. Right? So I dump all these things in here and just kind of use this as my guide. This is not like an excellent system by any stretch of the imagination. All right. But for me, I tend to run into the same people, like the same types of people looking for the same things a lot. So, you'll see like 9 million different companies there in column A. But the most common questions I get are, what CRM should we use? HubSpot or Salesforce? What do you like, Outreach or SalesLoft or Outplay or whatever? What dialer do you like? Right. So I start to get real familiar with 4 or 5. And I kind of focus on those ones. And I have those ones kind of hyperlinked in my tabs or my bookmarks, whatever the hell they're called. Bookmarks, not tabs, bookmarks. So I use those ones a lot. But if you said to me like, hey, where's your referral link for Connect and Sell? I'd be like, fuck, I got to go find it. Give me a minute. So it's not like I have them all at the ready. Right.
Fair enough.
And then as far as, well, I'm going to give you guys way too much access to me right now, but I don't have time to hide shit. So just don't fucking judge me and don't steal my fucking clients. I'm looking at you, Elizabeth. I know you. Whoops, wrong button. I also have a brand new laptop, Jill, which is causing even more chaos for me. I don't even know how to use it. Okay, look right here. So last month, 22,000 that actually paid on time. That's how I marked it, Keith. Right? So stupid, simple little Excel system right here. Now I go to affiliates. This is February. Almost 39 grand this month. 2 deals from Gong, including 1 massive one, 2 from SalesLoft, only 1 paid so far. And then this $5,000 one from Modiggy. So I'm using an Excel sheet just to bank all of the different sites and information about them. And then just a different tab essentially to kind of keep track of it all. And then you can't see it, but I have this little whiteboard over here that I've also written them on because I'm obsessive about collections. Amy and Robert and everybody at Thursday Night Sales calls me Dog the Bounty Hunter because I just go after people over and over and over. I can't stand when people don't pay me on time. I'm super annoying about it. So I obsess over it. So it's also on my whiteboard over here, who owes me stuff. Massive pain point, though, that nobody has figured out. And I have had this conversation with lots of people who think about building companies and stuff like that. Nobody's portal, no piece of software does a good job of keeping track of your referral pipeline. None of it.
And that's what I was hoping there was something in the works. Yeah.
There is nothing, man. And I don't understand why. Because what happens is I'll have a conversation with Jill. She says to me, hey, we're looking for such and such solution. I'm like, oh, perfect. You could do this, you could do that, or do this other one. Now, that's 3 people from the same category. Now, mind you, I've signed up for the referral program for all 3, so I really don't care which one they buy. This is the golden part. You go category exclusive and you only have one company, then you're in deep trouble, because if they buy from somebody else, you don't get paid at all. And when you try to push them one direction over the other, they're like, oh, why are you pushing me that direction? You must be getting a cut. So it's easy for me to just be like, listen, I'm getting paid by all 3 of these people. I don't care which one you buy. Here's my honest take on all 3. So now I put Jill's information into the portal for all 3 of those companies. The problem is it now goes into a black hole forever, because none of the companies give me updates. And they're like, Jill's meeting got held. Jill's lead is now in contract negotiations. Jill closed for this particular. There's no notifications. There's nothing until like SalesLoft will send me a note to create a purchase order. And I'm like, oh, I guess Jill closed. I didn't even know what happened. I forgot I even sent Jill over there. Right. And I don't do a good job on my own. I don't have a spreadsheet where I've like kept track of things that I've sent. I'm only keeping track when somebody actually has like bought. This is a huge pain point. I complain all the time to Orem and SalesLoft and Gong and PartnerStack and all these people. I'm like, what are y'all doing? It's like, you make it a pain in the ass to submit. You make it a pain in the ass for me to figure out how much I might get paid. You make it a pain in the ass for companies to kind of track, right? And then I get all pestery and I start messaging Gong like 7 times a week. What's the story with this deal? When am I getting paid on this? What's the ETA on that payment? Nobody's happy. There's certainly a better way to deal with this, and if we all had millions of dollars in the bank and wanted to build a company, like this is what I would build, because it doesn't seem like it should be that complicated. I don't know why there's
like
no
when you refer them, they should just put your name on it, and you should be able to get like a monthly report on like
that would be
what
wonderful.
You submitted.
That would be wonderful, Dale. You would think it would be that simple.
I don't know, maybe
that does not exist right now.
Maybe they're hoping it's like the gift card business where they rely on slippage or breakage, right? They don't want you to collect.
I 100% believe that. I have messaged people before and been like, hey, whatever happened to that lead? And they're like, oh, that closed 2 days ago.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll get on that.
Yeah.
Good thing I remember.
Closed like a month ago.
Yeah.
Probably.
Did I answer your question, Keith?
Yes, that was very helpful. Thanks.
Hey, I had a question around your spreadsheet you showed, and I noticed there was one on there like chorus or something, and it said "do not recommend." Can you tell me did they never pay you or whatever? Like, because you had a couple of them.
You nosy little thing.
Well, I'm just curious. You don't have to answer. I'm just wondering what would, and you don't have to call out these 2 companies, but
what happened there was they got acquired, and I'm not a fan of the person who took over for the prior leader.
But the question's a good one. Like, are there certain ones, like, forget about the acquisition part, but if someone's not paying you, or you're like, fuck you guys, like, I'm not.
Good question. So if you're not giving me any updates whatsoever,
right?
If you're not responsive to me when I ask questions, if you don't pay me or don't pay me even in remotely like on time kind of situation, I'm going to be less likely to send business your way.
Yeah.
And obviously, if I start hearing from people that your product sucks or your customer service was terrible, then I'm gonna stop sending people that particular direction.
Yeah, so I had a question kind of around that. Like, have you referred technology or services to people, and then the people that you referred them to like came back and like, this product sucks, and then like it's kind of like a black eye on your, on you individually.
So first of all, yes, that has happened. Second of all, I don't get black eyes. I don't care. Now, I had this whole conversation about this like 3 hours ago, actually, with Richard Harris. And he has like tremendous guilt over a referral like that goes south. And I don't care at all. You don't have to have my mindset about it. You don't have to have Richard's mindset about it. I just don't care. I don't think it looks bad on me at all. There's God knows how many companies working with these vendors, right? These companies are super successful. It's not like I'm referring them to Keith's company who has no customers and address in the Maldives. Nobody's ever heard of them. It's like, these are legit companies. So if it didn't work, could be on the vendor, could also be on the person that I referred over. I don't know. It's not my fault. So I don't worry about that. Now, I would change my mind if somebody started doing something ridiculous and like sullied their name and their company brand and stuff like that, right? If somebody took a stance that I completely disagreed with, I probably wouldn't want to be associated with that.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're just talking about the product, I don't care.
Makes sense.
Go ahead, John.
And you read my mind. Question. So Scott, you're an advisor. People will, I imagine, when you advise companies, they come to you for these types of suggestions. What would you recommend to us where that's not necessarily happening as much? Although I do talk to companies, they will ask me, but it's more like in conversation. So how would you go about that where you suggest something, let's just say like CRM or a contact database? Once you suggested like, oh, and here, by the way, here's my referral link. Like, how do you go about that in a good way?
Good question.
Sound like
super good question. Remember back in the day when you used to have to like fax over a contract to somebody? Are you old enough to remember that, John?
I look younger than I am.
Okay, good. So, you'd fax over this contract and then I don't know what the hell is going on over there. 5 minutes goes by, 30 minutes go by, 5 hours go by. I let it out of my sight, basically. Same concept applies here. I'm not letting that out of my sight. You think I'm just giving them a referral code and trusting that they're going to sign up and do it the right way? No chance. So the moment they're like, yeah, I'd love to talk to them, I'll be like, sweet, I'm going to dump your info in here. And so I'll fill it out as if I'm them. If I'm using the referral link. If a company has a portal, I'm obviously doing it myself. And I specifically tell people, hold up, whatever you do, when you're ready to engage one of these companies, do not reach out to them on your own. You have to go through me. Because if you go through me, you're going to talk to the right seller. I've got a good relationship with them. They're going to know that this is not some Joe Schmo like lead. They're going to treat you with respect and do their diligence and whatnot. And you might be able to get a little discount out of them because I send them a lot of business. So I try to control that as much as possible. Is it perfect? No. Every now and then things slip past the goalie and I get pissed. I'm like, I was talking to somebody about something. They're like, yeah, I took a demo with, Chili Pipe the other day. I'm like, fuck me. Are you serious? Why did you do that? I told you not to do that. And then I go back to the company and I'm like, hey, I sent you this. Some people will be cool with you about it. And others will be like, oh, your name wasn't on there. We already talked to them. It's like, are Are you kidding me? So it's
So what,
that's how I do
so
my
what would you-
best to control it that way, though.
So you could, so for all of us, like, yeah, we could fill out the form on behalf of the person we're talking to, but we probably don't have that internal relationship, or we're not sending them enough business to get that discount to kind of give that pitch in a sense.
Why?
So what would you
How do you
say?
know?
Just like,
Wait. How do you know?
how do I know what?
How do you know that you don't have that kind of clout or can't get a specific discount of some sort? And even if it doesn't happen, like, I don't know.
So you're saying, no, what I'm saying is we probably at this point don't have a bunch of referral links set up like you do. So I'm saying if we don't
but you
have that
could.
and we're,
But you
we
could.
could, yeah, that's why we're all here. We want to set those up.
Yeah.
But if we don't, so how do you mean just basically you fill out the form as if you're the other person, which is fine, and then the company will reach out to that
Yes.
contact? Is that how it works?
That's exactly what happens. You don't have to do
Okay.
anything at all once you've kind of put them into the system, whatever the system is that
Okay.
they use. You don't have to do anything.
Okay.
This is like,
Yeah, because I've seen the most software companies have enough. You just go onto their website and fill out a form, and you get a referral link. So it's pretty easy, right? Like for all of them, if you wanted to get one.
Yeah, yes, but don't assume that just because people don't have that on their website that they don't have some kind of program or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's the same thing I was kind of telling Matt before. It's like, you don't have to specifically go to whoever heads up partnerships or something like that. But you can message anybody over there and they'll be like, oh, and they'll get you to the right, person. So what you could do, so you said that you and everybody else doesn't have all these kind of referral links. This is not complicated, okay? So you think about the people that you talk to in your line of business and the tools that they typically need or buy. So if you're in marketing, it might be Marketo stuff, right? If you're in sales, it might be outreach stuff. If you're in customer success, it might be Gainsight stuff. If you're in ticketing, it might be, the hell is it called? Zendesk stuff, whatever you typically engage with. So just go to those sites, see if they have a program. If you don't see one, message people on LinkedIn, do that little spiel that I was telling you about, and then sign up. So you sign up for Zendesk and 2 other competitors, and you sign up for Drift and 2 of their competitors. And you see what I'm saying? And you just create this little database for yourself. And now every single time you have a conversation with somebody who has never heard of these things or is trying to figure out which way to go, you're just like, hey, if you want to, I'll make an intro for you and have somebody call you. And they're like, yeah, I would love that. That'd be great. And then you go, bang, pop in Keith's info in there. And then you don't have to do anything. You just sit back and collect.
If you can track it.
Well,
If they pay you.
all big ifs, but before we like completely assume that everybody is shady and does nothing, I should make $39,000 this month. I made 22 last month. We're not talking about chump change here.
Yeah, so that's interesting on the Gong one, Scott. Like that one seemed like a big deal. On your spreadsheet, there was a 0% commission rate on it, but obviously
No,
you didn't take some-
there's no 0% commit. I don't have commission rates. That's
or like
something-
whatever the rate was, the referral rate was 0%. But obviously there's some payment that you're getting on the backside of it.
Well,
Like what's the typical percentage that people are paying you?
First
for
of all,
referral?
if you saw that, I have a typo somewhere because that's not accurate. The normal thing is 10 to 20% of
Okay.
first year's ARR.
First year. So not
Yeah.
recurring, not through, it's usually first
Now,
year.
there are some people who will pay you recurring or upsells within the first year There's some people, but those are far less common.
Yeah.
So, you know, 100K ARR deal, you're most likely getting 10 to 20K, with the actual amount skewing way closer towards the 10K than the 20K. The 20% people are often much kind of newer entrants, earlier kind of companies who are, you know, willing to pay more to get more logos. And then as the company matures, they pay, you know, less. So Gong, for example, pays like 10%. Orem pays 10%. I was a number one partner seller for Gong and Orem last year.
And do they pay
Keith was
you?
talking about Keith was talking about one of his affiliate things is like my Untethered Blueprint course.
Yeah.
Not to like talk shit about myself, but that's like a low ticket thing. So every time he's referring that, and I think I pay 30 or 35% or something like that. So every time he refers somebody, I think he makes $75. Nothing wrong with $75. But if you can refer over one of your clients, like a startup, Keith, who decides to buy Gong, and they buy 5, 10, 20 seats or something like that, you're probably talking about a 5-figure to low 6-figure deal.
Right.
When you get in that range, you're talking about real money.
Yeah.
You know, you refer over somebody who closes a $25,000 deal, you get 10%, that's $2,500. That's probably a lot of people's mortgages who don't live in California or New York.
And do they pay you when they get the money? So like if it's a monthly recurring revenue, or do they pay you up front?
Well, so this is also the bane of my existence, is how they pay you. Some people will be cool and pay you like straight away. Other people, most people will be like, once we get paid, then you get paid. And the big dogs will be like, once we get paid, you get paid.
We'll pay you in 30
net
days.
30, net 45
Yeah.
after they've gotten paid. So that part is not awesome whatsoever. So if I was building one of these programs out, or building this non-existent platform that I would love to build one day to sort this out, you want to motivate people to refer more business, pay them right away. Don't put the onus on you, the company, to collect the invoice from these people. And then now on top of that, you're going to make me wait 30 or 45 days. That's a shitty experience, right? So if that's my experience with Orem or Gong or Salesforce or whatever, if one of their competitors came along and had a better experience for me, I'm a mercenary. Let's be real. In this regard, I'm a mercenary. I would probably go where whoever is going to pay me more and pay me faster. So if I was building one of these programs, that's a differentiator right there. It is a pain in the neck, though, how long you have to wait sometimes, but it does feel good.
So if I'm understanding this right, getting started doing something like this, it's a lot of just kind of getting those affiliate links built so that as you're having conversations, you've got it there for yourself, as opposed to like, okay, I'm going to hyper focus on Gong and try and start conversations on Gong. It's more doing the grunt work or setting the foundation, if you will. So you've got those just ready to go when the conversation arises.
That's what I would do. Yeah.
Yes.
I would build the net first before I started fishing. Yeah. I can't imagine it would take very long. I'm telling you, not very many people do this. Yes, I know.
Scott, have you looked into
Partner Stack? Yeah, I know Partner Stack. I know Partner Stack. They're like the closest to what I would like, but they're a nightmare as well. But they're the closest. And I've talked to them before and flat out been like, I don't understand why y'all don't have this. I'm like, oh, that's good feedback. Went nowhere. I mean, I think it has to do with they don't want outsiders with access to their internal data, right? Their access.
But they don't need
to.
It's like
I
complete
understand.
crap.
I understand. I'm hypothesizing of why they don't do it. It's like they don't want Scott getting visibility into Fermin's pipeline and Salesforce instance, and therefore into his company's, inner dealings and everything like that. That's my guess.
Scott, how many companies, I mean, do all the companies that you work with offer this?
All the companies that I work with offer, yeah. Can you rephrase that? I don't think that you asked it the way that you meant it.
I mean, how often do you run into a company that won't provide a referral program, an affiliate referral?
Very, very rarely. You know who's one of them? Salesforce. They're just like, we don't need you. We don't care.
And I looked at Chili Piper, and they give you like swag or something. Like they don't even, there's no referral program.
Yeah, they used to. Chili Piper used to pay you like $250 for a demo that got booked, and that was it.
Right.
But there's certainly like the right ones and the wrong ones to kind of get involved with. Very few people though will tell you no, Elizabeth.
Especially now.
Yeah, especially
They want
now.
all these
Actually,
things
that's a
yet.
good point. Especially now. But even if they do tell you no, it's
See you
okay.
later.
No worries. You just build out your list. It's this is especially relevant for anybody who runs their own business, is doing training, coaching, consulting of any type. Particularly, one of the reasons it works so well for me is because my work is primarily with early stage startups. So one of the things early stage startups always say and ask for is, hey, what kind of tools do we need? So I'm getting paid by the startup, and then I'm getting paid to refer them tech that they need.
Scott,
That's the kind of ecosystem that you want to set up for yourself.
How does the HubSpot program work? Because you said Salesforce doesn't really do anything, but
honestly, HubSpot is an absolute pain in the neck, and I just don't deal with it.
Yeah, because I've tried to run theirs because I've recommended it to a couple of clients, but it's just impossible to figure out.
Yeah,
it's such a low amount.
I know, exactly. So it's just like not worth it.
Like the CRMs are not really worth it, is what I gather.
I mean, those ones, because they're the big ones. There's smaller CRMs, like a pipe drive type of thing. Those people will pay. But the challenge there is,
then you got to work with
can
them.
I, in good faith, recommend somebody to go to one of those CRMs? I don't know. And that's not my area of expertise.
Yeah.
Right. That's like my partner JM's area of expertise. And so she's like, no, you need to use HubSpot or Salesforce, really. So
Keith, I've heard about Folk too.
Yeah, Folk will pay. Yeah, they'll pay. Folk also has an influencer program if you want to get paid to make posts about them.
I've been playing around with it a little bit recently here, and it's pretty cool. So I actually clicked and requested a demo. Could you believe that? But I hadn't looked in for the affiliate program yet. So
yeah, just ask. I forget the CEO's name, but I would just message him and be like, hey, I get asked all the time, what CRM's out there? Is there any alternatives to Salesforce? I'd love to start pushing Folk on people that I talk to. Do you have any kind of affiliate program? He'll say yes for sure.
Perfect. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey Scott, quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back to Gong, I just went onto their website, clicked on the partner program, and there's nothing in there about affiliate. So how do you even become an affiliate of these.
That's when, like I said before, you just need to message somebody who's over there.
Okay. All right, cool. I got it.
Right. So check whoever your first connections are over there, start there. You know, if you die out there, I'd probably target anybody in like a leadership role in sales or leadership role in marketing.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I missed that earlier. Thanks.
That's okay. Yeah. So I'll just to repeat, like if you go to people's websites and you don't see anything, that is not a dead end. That just means you need to look at your connections on LinkedIn, message somebody, put the messaging together. So it's like, hey, in my conversations every day, I come across people who could use a solution like yours. Wondering if you have any kind of referral or affiliate program. Couldn't find it on your website. Are you the right person to talk to about that? They'll say, no, that's Matt, or yep, that's me. What's your email? I'm going to send you over our, agreement and whatnot. That's all I did.
Do you do any type of advertising of your expertise? Like saying, hey, if anyone wants to talk about software products revolving around marketing, you can hit me up?
I don't. I suppose that I could. But I don't. I also don't post about any of these companies or anything like that. I mean, at this point in time, I'm not posting about your brand unless you pay me, frankly. I'm trying to think of what the advantage would be to do that. I don't know what the advantage would be. I suppose
just a lead. Yeah.
You lose control though, because they can just go directly there.
Yeah, see, that's what Dale said is a challenge, right? Audrey, it's like, let's say you go post and you say, hey, if anybody wants to talk about conversational intelligence tools or, dialer tools, I know a lot about Orem, I know a lot about Gong, I know a lot about this, that, and the other, let me know. I'd love to chat. All you've done is perhaps taken some eyeballs to those sites, and then they go learn, and if they go submit the demo request on their own, and you're screwed.
I'm just thinking about it, like if I was a company similar, like because I work at a startup and I wanted someone with your expertise to provide recommendations, and I saw a link and you just mentioned that you were an expert, it'd be valuable for companies who just wanted sort of a consultation approach without listing the company names, and then you could get paid. That was my only thought, but I understand where you're
I'm happy to do that.
I don't
have a formal process around it, but I'm happy to do that.
Yeah. I was just wondering. Thanks.
You're welcome. I thought I heard somebody else about to chime in.
Yeah, that was me. I always have questions, Scott. You know that. This is a little off topic. And clearly I don't have I'm not the influencer you are, but I've been asked to be an advisor a number of times for some equity, which feels like volunteer work at this point. So at what point do you move that into consulting? Do you still offer advising to early stage startups for equity?
That's a great question.
Yeah. This is all about what they want you to do and what they expect you to do in this advisory kind of role.
Well, what they want me to do is to give them free advice and not do anything, right?
Well,
and build their organization. And
but what does free advice mean? Does that mean you're talking to them every single day? Does that mean you're talking to them once a month? So this is what I'm getting at. Like, I will take equity from somebody and help them out if they're like, hey, I just want to be able to reach out to you every now and then and get some advice on stuff. And there's no regular cadence of work whatsoever. I'm not going to say no to that. Do I think I'm actually going to, bear much fruit, if any, from that? No, not really. But do you know how many people toss equity your way and then never even ask you for anything? So to me, it's like, okay, sure, I'll do that. Now, if you said to me, hey, I heard that you help people with their go-to-market strategy, build sales playbooks, help them with their sales ops process, do coaching and training and development, work on strategy, hire people, da 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 da. Here's, you know, 0.25%. No, that's way more work than 0.25% is worth. If somebody says to me, we'll give you 0.25%, we'd like to talk to you once a month, every Friday, I'd be like, okay. So it's all about like, what do I have to do in exchange for the equity? How much equity? What, if any, belief do I have that that company's equity might turn into something? That's the exchange that I'm trying to figure out. Hopefully I answered your question.
Investing and dilution and all that kind of stuff. There's a couple other factors.
Yeah, I tend not to worry. My decision framework is like, how many options are you offering me? And then I just multiply it by $10. I just assume like a magnificent outcome would be if this went to $10. That's easy math. Okay. Is it worth me taking one call a quarter for the next couple of years to potentially get $50,000 from this company's exit? Probably. If they offer me $500, now I do my multiply by 10 math. That's $5,000. And they want me to talk once a week? No. That makes no sense. So that's kind of the framework, Elizabeth.
Yep, got it. And then on that, so what about, and I know you've got a lot of relationships with early stage CEOs too, right? And so, you know, I've found, in fact, I just got a call right before this with somebody that I had talked to in the past, somebody I know, and now he's building his own thing and he just wants to get on the call for feedback. You know, and I gave him, you know, I hopped on the call with him for an hour and then he's like, well, okay, great. Now I might call you in a couple of months. And now I won't do that again unless there's equity or something in place. But do you get, how, you know, what guidelines do you give around that? Is it like one call you'll give complimentary, or how does
Pretty
that
much?
work?
Yeah, pretty much, because I sort of blend our initial like meeting call with I let them ask me some questions so I can kind of prove that I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yep.
I also, by the way, never do 1 hour during those calls. I would never do that.
Yep.
So to me, that's 30 minutes. So
Yep.
let's say you're the CEO. I get on the call like, cool. So talk to me about where you're at, Elizabeth. What's going on over there? What's awesome? And what do you need help with? And then the CEO blabbers on. And then I say, okay, well, here's what I do. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, we got like 10 minutes left. What kind of things are you struggling with right now that I could potentially help you with? And you would walk away being like, oh shit, that was actually very valuable. So we spend 5 or 10 minutes, hopefully, on that. And then, you know, it's like, all right, well, we'll let you know. Right. And when they reach back out to me again for more advice, I'm like, yeah, no.
Here's the paywall.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a couple different ways we can work together. There's this or there's that.
And then you put it into Scott Lee's collections.
Yeah. My worst nightmare. So it's the worst.
I think Elizabeth offered to do it for a commission in the chat.
And a percentage of all your affiliates.
Oh, is that all?
He'll put his son on that for that.
Yeah. Free
You said
labor.
you should also bring your son to basketball practice.
Yeah. But you have to do that too. Yeah.
Don't laugh. My son's an SDR.
Oh. Put him to work. What else?
She's gonna
else have
outsource the collection to her son.
What else have we not touched on as far as this partnership stuff, affiliate stuff goes? Don't forget what I've said before.
Okay, let me ask
Any of
you
these
this.
things that you, any of these kind of side hustly things that you do, if it can pay even one bill, it's worth it. And you're optimizing for least amount of effort, least amount of learning, and maximum return. So this is not something that you have to actually do and spend tons of energy on, other than the initial bit of like setting these agreements up, which really does not take any amount of time. I bet you if you all emailed everybody on my list there, you'd have signed deals by Friday. It goes fast in my experience. So it's low lift. It's not complicated. There's nothing to really learn. It's not like I pitch these products. I don't even know the elevator pitch for all these things. Somebody be like, yeah, we need help with phone systems and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I think Orem deals with that. You want me to give you an intro to them? Okay, cool. I'll do that for you. Low lift, no new learning, maximum ROI for your time. If it pays even one bill, it's worth it. Good.
This is very helpful, Scott. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Larry, any questions from you, man? Awfully quiet over there. Okay. All right, y'all. We'll let you out of here early today. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the conversation. Hopefully this was helpful. Anybody who's watching the recording, reach out to me and can answer some questions for you on any of this stuff. And we will see you next time.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Scott.
Bye, everybody.
Good to see you.